So, how's everybody? My name is Michael Randolph. I'm with the Center for Nonprofit and Community Development. As you know, we provide technical assistance to nonprofits throughout the United States and beyond. We have not only a client here today, but a celebrity at the same time. So, I'm going to throw this over to my brother. Tell us who you are. Tell us
Okay.
the nonprofit, but first tell us who you are and what you've done, and then go into your nonprofit. And more importantly, talking about why you started the nonprofit. And then let's bring in your other teammate later on to talk about what do you see as your projection for the next 5 years.
Okay. So my name is Nolbert, Nolbert Brown Jr. I was a director. I'm still a director, producer, and writer, but I started my career by writing for a show called All in the Family. The show brought me in as an intern to write for the George Jefferson character in the show. And after the success that I did with that, my uncle Johnny Tiller, the R&B and jazz singer, actually got me the job with the legendary Norm Lear. So after all that happened, I left Hollywood about 3 years or 4 years after that, and I went to New York to write for Broadway. And then at the age of 18 or 19, I won 2 Tony Awards for a stage play called Bubbling Brown Sugar. But to start the nonprofit American Emerald Awards Foundation, we're about to change the name to it's American Emerald Awards Foundation now. We're about to change the name to Everyday Miracles because we're adding more services for it, and then we're going to go nationwide. The nonprofit, Michael Randolph, created the nonprofit American Emerald Awards in 2014 in California. And we
Hold on for one
grew.
second. If I can just jump in 1 second. I didn't create it. I just did the paperwork. You created
I
it.
created the name, all of the facts
This
on
is your
the
baby.
foundation. Yes, and Mike made the foundation work for me as one of the top nonprofits in the country.
Yes.
And after he did that, we moved to Philadelphia with the nonprofit. I was working as a smaller nonprofit in California. We moved to Pennsylvania, and Mike also got me the Secretary of State to sign me as a foreign company in that state. And I guess later on, Mike can tell you how to do that, because if you started in your state and you grow, you can go to any state around the world that you want to with the nonprofit. And then later on in time, I gave Mike some of my friends that topped off their nonprofits, and Mike can tell you about that. But
Well, talk about Miss Campbell. Is that her name? I don't know if it's. She has a daughter that did.
yeah, her name is Loren. Loren is the mother of the famous actress um, Monica Calhoun from The Best Man. And Corinne was the first person that I connected Michael Randolph with after he did that for me. And then she made a big nonprofit in California for young kids and homeless kids. So that was the first person that I passed over to Mike, because he does so much great work for nonprofits, and he don't care who you are. He will get you started. He will help you through the way. And if you're like me that just don't know about computers and all that, Mike will get step to step, and he'll step up. If anything happens or anything, he tells you exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And if you listen to what he says, your nonprofit will be a mega machine. Michael Randolph, I introduced him to another young lady named Adrian in Philadelphia, that her nonprofit is growing too. And now I introduced Mike to maybe 4 or 5 of my other friends, Kristen, Antor, all those different people are getting nonprofits through Michael Randolph, because he's like the best in the business. I also have a friend that connected me with Michael Randolph, and her name is Lexi Lewis, and she lived in California. I mean, she lived in Florida with Mike, and she was the one that started it all. And she's a actress too, and promoter and a TV host and all that. Also on the phone right now, I have Brandy Murray, and Brandy Murray works with me, and we grow things together. We create things together. Since me and Brandy's been working together, we created a major clothing store in a major mall in Philadelphia. We created a construction company. And
Right.
the main thing that we created last year, was a TV network. So we also have a TV network if people want commercials about their nonprofit
Talk
around the
about
world.
that. Talk about your network.
Well, our TV network is similar to Netflix and Hulu, and you can do commercials on there. When you talk to Brandy, your commercials will be running all over the world, every state, all 50 states, you will see TV. You can add NB Junior TV Network to your iPhone by going to the App Store, your Android by going to the Google Play Store, Apple TV, Fire TV, and all smart TVs all over the world on Roku. You can join the TV network, and it's N like Nancy, B like Ball, J like Junior, R like Robert, tvnetwork.com. And it is taking people from Netflix to join us. So if you need commercials, if you got anything that you want on TV, you can get in touch with us by calling 1-800 217-8185, 1-800-217-8185. If you want your nonprofit or your state that you're working out of on national TV, we can make that happen. But the main thing and the crown jewel that Mr. Randolph created for me, well, helped me create the dream. I had a brother that had autism and Down syndrome, and he passed away in 2002. I don't talk about him a lot because I created American Emerald Awards for him in his spirit. And American Emerald Awards, for the first year that we was open, we made over $850,000. $850,000. I don't know what we made in the last 3 years, but Brandy tried to keep me on top of it. But yes, and I'm talking about the first year. It's unheard of. It never been done before, and I don't think it'll ever be done again. $850,000 in the first year.
Can I
And
just
that's
jump in real quick? Most nonprofits in their first year might make $5,000. So when he says unheard of, look, I work with nonprofits for over 30 years. I can attest to that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So that's what our nonprofit did. I sat down with Miss Murray, Brandy Murray, and she told me one time for the payroll alone was $400,000 payroll. We was the major company, an African-American nonprofit going up against the biggest white companies in the world. And we was on top of the game when we opened it up. Mike gave and helped me create the foundation in 2014. By 2017, we was contracted under the state and the government, and we're still contracted under the state and the government. And we're about to add another service to the nonprofit, and that is home care. But the services that we do now is autism, Down syndrome, respite care, and everything for people with mental disabilities.
Okay, excellent. Seemed like you went out. I think we lost you by way of audio. Hello?
I don't know what happened. He dropped off. Let me text him.
Okay.
From the age of 18 from the age of 18 to 59, we service those people.
Okay.
So
good.
that's the whole story of American Emerald Awards Foundation.
I think what's important, and I want everybody to take from this, if we as a Black race is going to make it out of this craziness, we have to be about Black economic development. We have to control it in order to be able to be successful. I like working with nonprofits like this nonprofit because the only thing I do is put the ideas and concepts in place. But you have to have a business mind in order to actually do this. And you always have to have a side partner. Brandy, come on in. Tell us a little bit about you.
Is she on here?
Okay, yeah, I am. I did not know that I would be speaking. So,
I know, I put you on the spot.
you did. You put me on blast. I'm sorry. So
You're that type of person that even on the spot, you can come out. That's why I did it.
okay, so what did you ask me?
Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, I met Mr. Brown in 2018, and he hired me as his assistant. There was a slight turmoil in his business at American Emerald. And listen, most businesses, you're going to have ups and downs, and you just have to deal with them. So